ever seen kids being distracted or playing games on their iPads or laptops in class? Or when they're meant to be studying in their room at home? I could ask you to raise your hands, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Picture this: a teacher is standing at the front of the room explaining what the lesson is going to be about. Instead of paying attention, a student quietly tilts their laptop screen and loads up a game. We've all seen it happen. Some might say it's because students are lazy. Others believe it's because they simply do not value learning. But I do not believe any of that. And here's the important thing. Most of the time, I think kids play games because they're bored. The lesson might feel too easy, too hard, or just not worth the effort. And when schoolwork feels like that, of course, games or other distractions can seem more exciting. I've seen it myself. Many of my classmates turn to games when the work did not challenge them enough. Let me take you back to a time in grade 4 when I was still living in Sydney. It was an English lesson, and a friend of mine thought he already knew what the lesson was going to be about. As the clock ticked on, he kept glancing out the window. Out of boredom, he opened up a game in another tab on his laptop. Soon, it became a habit for him. Every lesson, he was diverted from the real task. Whenever he felt bored or disconnected, or sometimes even when he just felt like it, he played games. On the outside, he looked focused, but I clearly knew he wasn't learning. It wasn't just games he was playing, he was scrolling on YouTube or just blankly staring out the window. His distraction took many forms. He was there physically, but not mentally. The consequences came quietly. At first, he missed homework because he didn't know what the assignment was. Then, he stressed over tests. My friend was never like that. I learned from his experience that escapism in class always comes with a cost. The truth is, it's not just him or my classmates. This is a universal problem. Millions of students around the world struggle to stay focused, and this situation is made worse by the global teacher shortage. UNESCO reports that by 2030, we will need over 44 million more teachers to meet education goals. Without enough teachers, many classrooms are overcrowded and lessons become one-size-fits-all. When students feel unseen, unchallenged, or disconnected, it is natural for them to drift. Some turn to games, and some quietly give up. This is not about laziness, it's about human nature, because we all seek challenge, engagement, and purpose. When the classroom does not provide these, students look elsewhere, misbehave, or even stop coming to school. The good news is that this problem is not impossible to solve. I experienced a solution that completely changed the way I connect to learning. I like to call them the 3 E's. Number 1, engage with choice. Kids often play games in class because the work feels the same every time. Giving students choices in how they learn or show understanding can change that. Some might write, others might draw, or create a mind map. Some could even make a short video. Choice makes learning feel more interesting, almost like a game itself. When I came to Saltwater, I remember the first time my teacher allowed me and my classmates to pick our own topics for our recent statistics report. The room erupted with energy. Kids shouted ideas left and right. But why was everyone so excited? Because they had ownership. They weren't just following instructions, they were building something that mattered to them. Research backs this up. Studies show that when students have even small choices in their learning, their motivation increases. Choice transforms learning from a passive activity into an active one. That is what engagement with choice looks like. Number 2, empower with challenge. Games keep us hooked because they're challenging but doable. Each level is harder than the last, but never impossible. That sense of progress keeps players coming back. Schoolwork can feel very different. Sometimes it is too easy, so students get bored. Other times, it's too hard, so students give up. But when teachers design tasks that start easy and gradually increase in difficulty, it helps students get in the zone, where it's hard enough to be fun, but not so hard that it's frustrating. In my maths class, we break it into 3 stages. The enabling task is the foundation. The core task is the standard challenge. The enrichment task is for pushing further. Suddenly, everything clicked. Now, the fast finishers didn't sit around bored. The kids who struggled didn't feel left behind. Everyone could find their level. That is the second E, empower with challenge. Giving students the opportunity to level up just like in a game. Number 3, elevate with purpose. Students drift into games because they feel rewarded by achievements, points, progress bars, the list goes on. Schoolwork, on the other hand, can feel meaningless. You know how teachers always say, do this worksheet, memorize these facts. But when you ask them why, they simply say, well, obviously, the test is coming. But when schoolwork connects to real life or carries recognition, everything changes. I still remember a science lesson about physics. My science teacher told me and my classmates that why we're learning about this topic is because it is key in many professions. That gave everyone the answer to their why. Purpose and goals give meaning to learning. It turns just schoolwork into something you actually want to thrive for. Elevate by showing students why their work matters. That is the third E. So what is the bigger picture here? The 3 E's, engage, empower, elevate, aren't just there to help students, but are also there to help teachers. Teachers who see their students motivated are pushing themselves further to create more engaging lessons for them. It reminds them why they chose this profession. Globally, this matters. With teacher shortages rising and student engagement falling, we need strategies that are simple, accessible, and human. The 3 E's are just that. They don't need hours of preparation or fancy resources. They just need a shift in mindset. And they work. I know, because I experienced them myself. So let me end with this. Students don't turn to games because they don't care. They turn to games because games offer them choice, challenge, and give them a purpose. If classrooms can provide those needs, students won't need to load up a game anymore. They'll already be playing the best one, learning. Thank you.